Good morning, everyone. Magbasa ka na raw ng Bible. Leviticus 1, 2, 3. Haba ah. Pang February 7 na natin. And Matthew 24, 1 to 28. Ganun ko pala. Okay. Medyo okay siya, guys. Bili talaga ako patungan sa Sunday, ngayong Sunday. Leviticus 1, 2, 3. Instructions for the offerings, the burnt offering. The Lord called to Moses and spoke to him from the tent of meeting. He said, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, when any of you brings an offerings to the Lord, bring as your offering an animal from either the herd or the flock. If the offering is a burnt offering from the herd, he is to offer meat." So verse 3, guys. If the offering is burnt offering from the herd, he is to offer a meal without defect. Ibig sabihin yung pinaka-the best na ang kuhanin. He must present it at the entrance to the tent meeting so that yung pinakamagandang na ang ibibigay pagka burnt offering. Nakalagay, he is to offer a meal without defect. Yung sa burnt offering, guys. He must present it at the entrance to the tent of meeting so that it will be acceptable to the Lord. He is to lay his hand on the head of the burnt offering, and it will be accepted on his behalf to make atonement for him. He is to slaughter the young bull before the Lord, and then Aaron's sons, the priests, shall bring the blood and sprinkle it against the altar on all sides at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Kung marami kayong mag-o-offer niyan, mapupuno ng dugo yung Father God. He is to skin the burnt offering and cut it into pieces. Excuse me. The sons of Aaron, the priest, are to put fire on the altar and arrange wood on the fire. Then Aaron's sons, the priests, shall arrange the pieces, including the head and the fat, on the burning wood that is on the altar. He is to wash the inner parts and the legs with water, and the priest is to burn all of it on the altar. It is a burnt offering, an offering made by fire, an aroma pleasing to the Lord. If the offering is a burnt offering from the flock, from either the sheep or the goats, he is to offer a meal without defect. He is to slaughter it at the north side of the altar before the Lord, and Aaron's sons, the priests, shall sprinkle its blood against the altar on all sides. He is to cut into pieces, and the priest shall arrange them, including the head and the fat, on the burning wood that is on the altar. He is to wash the inner parts and the legs with water, and the priest is to bring all of it and burn it on the altar. It is a burnt offering, an offering made by fire, an aroma pleasing to the Lord. If the offering to the Lord is a burnt offering of birds, he is to offer a dove or a young pigeon. The priest shall bring it to the altar. Ring off, WRING, offering off the head, and burn it on the altar. Its blood shall drain out on the side of the altar. He is to remove the crop with its contents, and throw it to the east side of the altar, where the ashes are. He shall tear it open by the wings, not severing it completely, and then the priest shall burn it on the wood that is on the fire on the altar. It is a burnt offering, an offering made by fire, an aroma pleasing to the Lord. Ano kaya, Father God, kung yung mga niluluto namin sa mga meals namin, pag mabango, offer na yan sa'yo. Hindi, sa panahon, sa generation natin ngayon guys, ginagawa pa ba to? The grain offering. When someone brings a grain offering to the Lord, his offering is to be of fine flour. He is to pour oil on it, put incense on it, and take it to Aaron's sons, the priests. The priest shall take a handful to the fine flour and all together with all the incense, and burn this as a memorial portion on the altar, an offering made by fire, an aroma pleasing to the Lord. Mas madali-dali na yung grain offering. Yung kasi mga animals, parang ang hirap naman noon, kakatayin pa. Tsaka malinis ito. This is and burn this is a memorial portion on the altar, an offering made by fire. Malinis dalhin. Yan ang ibig sabihin. Kasi pag may dugo talaga, syempre magkakalat yun. The rest of the grain offering belongs to Aaron and his sons. Reaction ko lang yun guys ha. Hindi ko sinasabi na ano. Parang reaction ko lang siya. So nababasa ko. The rest of the grain offering belongs to Aaron and his sons. It is a most holy part of the offerings made to the Lord by fire. If we bring grain offering baked in an oven, it is to consist of fine flour cakes made without yeast and mixed with oil, or wafers made without yeast and spread with oil. If young grain offering is prepared on a griddle, it is to be made of fine flour. Mata ko. Fine flour mixed with oil and without yeast. Crumble it and pour oil on it. It is a grain offering. If your grain offering is cooked in a pan, it is to be made of fine flour and oil. Bring the grain offering made of these things to the Lord. Kopyahin kaya natin to guys, parang recipe na rin to eh. Present it to the priest who shall take it to the altar. He shall take out the memorial portion from the grain offering and burn it on the altar as an offering made by fire, an aroma pleasing to the Lord. The rest of the grain offering belongs to Aaron and his sons. It is most holy part of the offering made to the Lord by fire. Every grain offering you bring to the Lord must be made without yeast. Lagi niya talaga ayaw niya ng yeast guys. Pero yung mga ngayon niluluto sa bakery, imposibleng walang yeast yan. Siyempre pampaalsa to eh. For you are not to burn any yeast or honey in an offering made to the Lord by fire. You may bring them to the Lord as an offering of the first fruits, but they are not to be offered on the altar as a pleasing aroma. Season all your grain offering with salt. Do not leave the salt of the covenant of your God out of your grain offerings. Add salt to all your offerings. Dagdagan ng asin. If you bring again offering of first fruits to the Lord, offer crushed heads of new grain roasted in the fire. Put oil and incense on it. It is a grain offering. The priest shall burn the memorial portion of the crushed grain and the oil together with all the incense as an offering made to the Lord by fire. The fellowship offering. If someone's offering is a fellowship offering and he offers an animal from the herd, Whether male or female, he is to present before the Lord an animal without defect. He is to lay his hand on the head of his offering and slaughter it at the entrance of at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Then Aaron's sons, the priests, shall sprinkle the blood against the altar on all sides. From the fellowship offering he is to bring the sacrifice made to the Lord by fire, all the fat that covers the inner parts or is connected to them, both kidneys with the fat on them near the loins, and the covering of the liver, which he will remove with the kidneys. Then Aaron's sons are to burn it on the altar on top of the burnt offering, on top of the burnt offering, that is on the burning wood, as an offering made by fire, an aroma pleasing to the Lord. So, ibig sabihin yung aroma, ang siyang nakakapag, kay Father God. Yung bango ng, yung bango nung nung binaburn. If he offers an animal from the flock as a fellowship offering the Lord, he is to offer a male or female without defect. Sa verse 7, if he offers a lamb, he is to present it before the Lord. He is to lay his hand on the head of his offering and slaughter it in front of the tent of meeting. Then Aaron's son shall sprinkle its blood against the altar on all sides from the fellowship offering. He is to bring, kamusta na kaya, no? Yung, di ba sa dami ng ini-sprinkle na blood, kamusta kaya naman ang itsura nung tent of meeting nila? And then Aaron shall sprinkle its blood against the altar on all sides. Ini-imagine ko lang kasi guys, sa dami ng dugo na ini-sprinkle. Puro pa naman ang lalaki. Pero mo yung lamb, yung goat, may bull pa. Diba? Eh kung ilang Israelites yung mag-o-offer, edi napakaraming dugo nun na i-sprinkle. Reaction ko lang ulit yun guys basta marami akong reaction dito sa verse na to sa Leviticus na to ay umpisa pa lang pala doon pa lang sa Exodus. Sa Exodus kasi marami rin na instruction na ganito. Ito kasi actual na both kidneys with the fat nakalagay sa verse 9 muna tayo. From the tail cut off close to the backbone. Doon yun sa guys, sa lamb. Umpisa nyo sa verse 7. Nandito na ako sa 9. From the tail cut off close to the backbone, all the fat that covers the inner parts or is connected to them, both kidneys with the fat on them, near the loins and the covering. So magkakatabi pala parati yan, yung kidneys ay yung loins. Hindi natin alam hindi natin kabisado yung inner part ng mga animal guys And the covering of the liver, which he will remove with the kidneys. The priest shall burn them on the altar as food, an offering made to the Lord by fire. If his offering is goat, he is to present it before the Lord. He is to lay his hand on his head and slaughter it in front of the tent of meeting. Then Aaron shall sprinkle its blood. Parang inulit lang din yung doon sa mga offering doon sa kabila. Yung animal offering. Ito naman fellowship offering. If his offering is a goat, he is to present it before the Lord. He is to lay his hand on its head and slaughter it in front of the tent of meeting. Then Aaron's son shall sprinkle its blood against the altar on all sides. From what he offers, he is to make this offering to the Lord by fire, all the fat that covers the inner parts or is connected to them. Both kidneys with the fat on the loins and the covering of the liver, which he will remove with the kidneys. Akala mo guys, akala mo guys, inuulit natin, pero hindi. Ganun din ulit talaga ang nakasulat. The priest shall burn them on the altar as food and offering made by fire, a pleasing aroma. All the fat is the Lord's. This is a lasting ordinance for the generations to come. Wherever you live, you must not eat any fat or any blood. O yan guys, maliwanag. Gawin natin tong description. This is a lasting ordinance for the generations to come. Wherever you live, you must not eat any fat or any blood. Huwag tayong kumain ng dugo tsaka mga matataba. Kasi nakalagay rito, all the fat is the Lord's. Sa verse 16, diba? Inom muna tayo tubig. Bago tayo pumunta sa New Testament. Bilis na guys. So, 24:1 to 28 ng Matthew. Tama. So, hanggang dito siya. Jesus teaches on the Mount of Olives. Jesus left the temple and was walking away with his disciples came up to him to call his attention to its buildings. Do you see all these things? He asked. I tell you the truth, no one stone here will be left on another. Everyone will be thrown down. Ulit. Do you see all these things? He asked. Doon sa mga buildings, guys. I tell you the truth, not one stone here will be left on another. Everyone will be thrown down. As Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately to tell us. They said, when will this happen, and what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age? Tinatanong ng mga disciples, guys, what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age? Jesus answered, watch out that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, claiming I am the Christ, and will deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pains. Then you will be handed over to persecuted and put to death, and you will be hated by all nations because of me. Mga namatay na yung mga disciples, diba? At that time, many will turn away from the faith and will betray and hate each other. And many false prophets will appear and deceive many people. Because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold. But he who stands firm to the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. So when you see standing in the holy place the abomination that causes desolation, is spoken of through the prophet Daniel, let the reader understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let no one on the roof of his house go down to take anything out of the house. Let no one in the field go back to get his cloak. His cloak. CLOAK. How dreadful it how dreadful it will be in those days for pregnant women and nursing mothers. Pray that your fight will not take place in winter or on Sabbath. Pray that your flight will not take place in winter or on Sabbath. Bakit po? Yung verse 20 guys. Pray that your flight will not take place in winter or on Sabbath. So, huwag bumiyahe pagka-Sabbath? Bakit po? Ay, tama kasi pahinga nga yung Sabbath eh. Pero yung winter, bakit hindi pwede? Ipagdasal daw eh. Pray that your flight will not take place in winter. So, ibig sabihin, huwag ka na kumuha ng ng flight na panahon ng winter, tsaka araw ng Sabbath. For then there will be great distress, unequaled from the beginning of the world until now. For then there will be a great distress, unequaled from the beginning of the world until now, and never to be equaled again. If those days had not been cut short, no one would survive, but for the sake of the elect, this will be shortened. At that time, if anyone says to you, Look, here is the Christ, or there he is, do not believe it. For false Christs and false prophets will appear and perform great signs and miracles to deceive even the elect, if that were possible. See, I have told you ahead of time. Jesus tells about his return. So if anyone tells you there he is out in the desert, do not go out, or here he is in the inner rooms, do not believe it. For as lightning that comes from the east is visible even in the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. Wherever there is a carcass, there the vultures will gather. Immediately after the distress of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. Ay, bukas na pala to guys. Nasobrahan naman ako sa concentration. Pati yung pambukas nabasa ko, sorry. Ayan na. Hanggang dyan na lang tayo. Bye everyone. Keep safe and God bless.